The night before I was heading for Scotland, I was invited to host the final of China's Got Talent show in Shanghai with the 80,000 live audience in the stadium. Guess who was the performing guest? Susan Boyle. And I told her, I'm going to Scotland the next day. She sang beautifully, and she even managed to say a few words in Chinese, 送你葱. So it's not like hello or thank you, those ordinary stuff. It means green onion for free. Why did she say that? Because it was a line from our Chinese parallel of Susan Boyle, a 50-some-year-old woman, a vegetable vendor in Shanghai, who loved singing Western opera, but she didn't understand any English or French or Italian, so she managed to fill in the lyrics with vegetable names in Chinese. And the last sentence of Nessun Dorma that she was singing in the stadium was green onion for free. So Susan Boyle was saying that 80,000 live audience sang together. That was hilarious. So I guess both Susan Boyle and this vegetable vendor in Shanghai belonged to otherness. You know, they were the least expected to be successful in the business called entertainment. Yet their courage and the talent brought them through, and the show and the platform gave them the stage to realize their dreams. Well, being different is not that difficult. We are all different from different perspectives. But I think being different is good because you present a different point of view. You may have the chance to make a difference. My generation has been very fortunate to witness and participate the historic transformation of China that has made so many changes in the past 20, 30 years. I remember that in the year of 1990, when I was graduating from college, I was applying for a job in the sales department of the first five-star hotel in Beijing, Great Wall Sheraton. It's still there. So after being interrogated by this Japanese manager for a half an hour, he finally said, "So, Miss Yang, do you have any question to ask me?" I summoned my courage and paused and said, "Yes, but could you let me know what actually do you sell?" I didn't have a clue what sales department was about in a five-star hotel. That was the first day I set my foot into a five-star hotel. Around the same time, I was going through audition, the first ever open audition by national television in China, as with another 1,000 college girls. The producer told us they were looking for some sweet, innocent, and beautiful, fresh face. So when it was my turn, I stood up and said, why women personalities on television always have to be beautiful, sweet, innocent, and, supportive? Why can't they have their own ideas, their own voice? I thought I, offended them, but actually they were impressed by my words. And so I was in the second round of competition, and then the third and the fourth. After 7 rounds of competition, I was the last one to survive it. So I was on national television primetime show, and believe it or not, that was the first show on Chinese television that allowed its hosts to speak out of their own minds without reading an approved script. And my weekly audience at that time was between 200 to 300 million people. Well, after a few years, I decided to go to the US at Columbia University to pursue my postgraduate studies, and then started my own media company, which was unthought of, during the years that I started my career. So we do a lot of things. I've interviewed more than 1,000 people in the past, and sometimes I have young people approaching me, say, Lan, you changed my life. I feel proud of that. But then we're also so fortunate to witness the transformation of the whole country. I was in the Beijing's bidding for Olympic Games. I was representing Shanghai Expo. I saw China embracing the world and vice versa. But then sometimes I'm thinking, what are today's young generation up to? How are they different, and what the differences they are going to make to shape the future of China, or at large, the world? So today I want to talk about young people through the platform of social media. First of all, who are they? How do they look like? Well, this is a girl called Guo Meimei, 20 years old, beautiful. She showed off her expensive bags, clothes, and car on her microblog, which is the Chinese version of Twitter. And she claimed to be the general manager of Red Cross at the Chamber of Commerce. She didn't realize that she stepped on a sensitive nerve and aroused national questioning, almost a turmoil, against the credibility of Red Cross. The controversy was so heated that the Red Cross had to open a press conference to clarify it, and the investigation is going on. So far, as to today, we know that she herself made up that title, probably because she feels proud to be associated with charity. All those expensive items were given to her as gifts by her boyfriend, who used to be a board member in a subdivision of Red Cross at Chamber of Commerce. It's very complicated to explain. But anyway, the public still don't buy it. It is still boiling. It shows us a general mistrust of government or government-backed institutions which lack transparency in the past. And also it showed us the power and the impact of social media as microblog. Microblog boomed in the year of 2010, with visitors doubled and time spent on it tripled. Sina.com, a major news portal alone, has more than 140 million microbloggers. On Quentin, 200 million. The most popular blogger, it's not me, it's a movie star, and she has more than 9.5 million followers or fans. About 80% of those microbloggers are young people under 30 years old. And because, as you know, the traditional media is still heavily controlled by the government, so social media offers an opening to let the steam out a little bit. But because you don't have many other openings, so the heat coming out of this opening is sometimes very strong, active, and even violent. So through microblogging, we are able to understand Chinese youth even better. So how are they different? First of all, most of them were born in the 80s and 90s under the one-child policy. And because of selected abortion by families who favored boys to girls, now we are ended up with 30 million more young men than women. That could pose a potential danger to the society, but who knows, we're in a globalized world, so they can look for girlfriends from other countries. Most of them have fairly good education. The illiteracy rate in China among this generation is under 1%. In the cities, 80% of kids go to college. But they are facing an aging China, with the population above 65 years old coming up with 7-point-some% this year, and about to be 15% by the year of 2030. And you know we have the tradition that younger generations support the elders financially and taking care of them when they're sick. So it means young couples will have to support 4 parents who have the life expectancy as to 73.